Hello, I'm Joe, and this is Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. What we have here is a 2015 Combiner Wars Deluxe size Rook. He retailed for about $15 to $20 back when I got him. Came with a comic book that from the IDW series. While the robot that he combined, he didn't really show up much in the comic that came with. I don't remember which one it was. But that was a common gimmick that came with the Combiner Wars figures, for the deluxe size anyways. Regardless, this character, Rook, is part of Defensor in the Combiner Wars series. He did not exist in the original G1 series. They did not believe that, or in the original series, the Protectobots, Groove was the original 5th member. He turned into a motorcycle, and they didn't. Apparently, that was considered a little too far-fetched for some reason. So replaced him with a disc figure. He turns into an APC, an armored personnel carrier. Some police departments have purchased these in real life. He's not actually based off of a real one, I can tell, but you can definitely tell it's inspired with them. Either way, the look for this figure, he does have look at those earmuff hats that you see in like cold places like Russia or some northern states in the United States, possibly Canada. I've never seen them in Canada though. The face right there looks like it's a bit of a football helmet style face mask grid type thing. Anyways, he's a little bit unique in that his hands do not contain a 5mm peg to fit a gun in the way you normally hold a gun. His fists end in a peg at the very end, facing forward. He has a claw-like tool that plugs in right at the end there. Gives him a extended reach. And he also comes with the Combiner Wars typical tool, which is the hand weapon. He can kind of hold it in normal with his fist. You have to bend it, and even it looks kind of weird. I like to point out that to me, the tool, the weapon here, looks like it actually has like a grappling hook type of ends to it, or missiles. Either way, very nice. Commonly, most people do is they will extend the hand for the combiner multi-device thing, give them a gigantic hand to work with, which is kind of funny. As you can see, his primary weapon, the primary colors are white, blue, and black with a little bit of gray. And here's his rear. He's got kind of like a weapons platform actually. I flip it up because there is a port there. It's almost like he can be armed with an anti-aircraft shoulder cannon. And also his shoulders, I have the 5mm pegs as well. So he has a lot of variety, a lot of options for his weapons. He has a bit of a weak thigh joints. Knees aren't too bad. That'll come to play later when we talk about the combined modes. So let's go into transformation. Oh, also his toes angle. Yay. So anyways, let's go and transform him. So move it back down. When he came out for the deluxes for the Protectobots wave on Combiner Wars, he was the only one that was a brand new mold. The rest of them were all remolds or re-releases of existing figures. Not re-releases, recolors or remolds. So combine those two. The arms up front. And because of the they like to reuse and recolor figures. He was adapted for Swindle for Bruticus, the Combaticons. Fairly big changes though, so I mean I don't like blame them for that. And that goes on there. So here's the armored personnel carrier. Although the tool fits out in front, used to Jaws of Life or what have you. And this weapon, it has actually unusually, it actually has a port in the middle of the palm, so you can actually fit it on top. Gives actually a bit of better appearance than the usual one, where you have to be upside down. And also, this can be turreted on the back if wished. Turreted is what I said. So, that's his vehicle mode. Not exciting, but it's a well-fitting mode. 6 wheels. Pretty solid and everything. Alright, so let's go into the combined modes. First is the foot. So move this up here. You have to move the head. The head doesn't really... It kind of sticks out a bit. Do this up. This part connects up there. Rotate this part in there. And connect the foot to the bottom. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the this doesn't really go anywhere in foot mode. Weapons never really have much use. Maybe they'll complain because this right here sticks out so much. It looks like a giant kneecap. And I can understand that. It never really bothered me though. So that's what it looks like as a leg. Now, to better picture it, the rest of the robot would connect here, like the thigh connecting here. It does stick out more than almost any other ones, so I do understand to a point. It just never really bothered me that much. Now, when it comes to the arm mode, basically get to this point, rotate this to the shoulder joint, and you move out the legs, extend them all the way, combine them, move the waist 90 degrees, connect the hand, and deploy the hand. Now this is the arm mode. Unlike most of the other, you get like a 50-50 chance for most of the deluxe size ones. The hips, the waist joint can be loose. It appears to be more about a mold rather than a quality assurance issue. He can hold his own weapon up without too much trouble, but anything bigger than that, and he's going to droop. Although, for an arm, I also like having the arms from robot mode come up as cannons. Be a little wonky, but I don't know, there's extra guns coming out. Guns coming out of every possible spot, I don't think it's a bad thing. But the loose elbow does offer some warnings about that. This figure does often get high praises for the line it's in. I don't mind it. I like it enough. I just don't know if I would pick him as one of my favorites of the line, though. Just go ahead, put that in. I'm also not a fan of the weapon. Kind of grabber claw thing, but so yeah, that's the official arm mode. Grabber claw. I do feel it's a missed opportunity. It could have been something better. Although I do understand that it kind of fits the rescue vehicle motif. So that does make sense to a point. So the figure is pretty solid. Kind of blocky though. Not a lot of visual interest. Also, as it doesn't line up with any existing characters. It was created just for the comic slash Combiner Wars series. Still a rather solid figure, just not strange. I do find it was a little lackluster, but also the weak joints for the combined mode do kind of break it a little bit for me. I tend to keep it as a foot. So overall, I definitely recommend this for children and adults. There's nothing really to worry about for children to get injured with. So I do feel that the figure is pretty strong. Definitely worth checking out if you want the whole series for Defensor. For replacing motorcycle, they did actually make the Groove chest plate. He's a smaller Legend size, but they also made a deluxe sized one that can be special ordered. Was made available plenty of times, but I never really cared enough for it. I do find this one to be well enough to be a good substitute for that character. So that's Rook there from Combiner Wars. Fairly solid figure, if not outstanding. So definitely recommend it for children and collectors. Thank you for watching my video. This is Joe from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. Please comment, ask questions, whatever, and please like and subscribe to the video. Thank you.